everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shub and you people are watching my channel Shubhar Info. In this video, we will be discussing about reproduction in plants. This is the second part of the chapter. So without wasting time, let's begin with the video. In the previous video, we have learned and discussed about vegetative propagation and there are two methods. So we know that there are two methods of vegetative propagation, right? First one is the natural method and the second one is artificial method. In the previous class we had discussed about the natural method, but our artificial method was left. So today we will be discussing that only. Artificial method, it is a vegetative propagation only, means it is a process of vegetative propagation, right? It has three steps or three types how it can be done. First one is cutting, second grafting, and the third one is layering. So what is there in cutting? So cutting is a process in which we cut out one stem or some part from the parent plant, okay, and then we put it out or into the soil in another pot as shown here. Now what is grafting? Grafting is a process in which we cut out a full tree, means we cut out a half tree from a dormant rootstock, okay, we cut half and in that we insert a skein wood, okay. After inserting it, we wrap the junction with the any wrapper or something, like any of the cloth or tape, anything, okay. So next one here is our layering. In layering what we do, first of all what we do, we just take a stem. Next is sexual reproduction. So what is sexual reproduction? It is a type of reproduction where a new or baby plant develops from the fusion of male and female gametes. What is the meaning of fusion? Fusion means when male and female gametes combine together. So before starting of the sexual reproduction, I want to explain you about the parts of flower. So I'm not going to read out all these things, I'll be explaining you through the diagram. Here is a diagram which I have added to my slide, and in this what is there? The two parts, there are total two parts in a flower, okay. In the flower structure there are only two parts, means there are many parts, but all those parts are there in these two parts only. First part is stamen and the second one is pistil. If we talk about stamen, then stamen is the male part of the flower and pistil is the female part of the flower. Now stamen, this stamen contains of two parts. First is the anther and second is the filament, okay, and pistil consists of stigma, style and ovary, okay. It consists of stigma, style and ovary. The main part of the flowers are these only, pistil and stamen. They are the main parts because they are the female and the male part of the flower. Rest things what are there in the flower are petals, ovules, sepals and ovaries. So let's talk more about stamen. So stamen is having two parts, right, as I have told you. So the first part is filament and the second one is anther, right. The filament is a very long slide. Let me just show you it with zooming it. This long line is only known as the filament, right, and these on top it is then sac-like structures. These sac-like structures are anther. This anther is only the part that holds the pollen sacs, those pollen sacs only hold the pollen grains. So now let's talk about pistil. Pistils is having three parts, stigma, style and ovary. So first we will be discussing about style. What is a style? Style is a tube-like structure that has stigma on its top. This is a tube-like structure that has stigma on its tip, and that stigma is the sticky part. It is the sticky part which sticks the pollen grains to the flower, right? In the further video, we will be learning about pollen grains, means what are the functions of the pollen grains and why we are speaking pollen grains word again and again. So now you have got what is stigma, style and ovary. Now there are only not two parts, male part and female part. They are also having petals, ovule and sepals. So first let us discuss what are petals. Petals are just petals. Everyone knows what are petals. They're very colorful part of the flower, right? What are sepals? So this area is only known as the sepals, the downer part, which are when the bud is there, okay, when the flower is there inside and the bud is only there, then those bud is only known as the sepals. When the flower blooms, then that bud is known as the sepals. Now if I talk about the types of flowers, then there are two types of flower, okay. So the flowers which have both stamen and pistil are called as bisexual, or we can also say them as complete flowers. Some of the examples are hibiscus and wild rose, okay. And the flowers with only the male or only the female reproductive part are called the unisexual flowers, or we can also say them as incomplete flowers. Example of them are watermelon and cucumber. In brief, there are two types of flowers. First one is bisexual. Bisexual are those which are having both stamen and pistil. And second is our incomplete, or we can say unisexual flower, that is having either female or male part, any one of them. Next is pollination. Now you will be able to know that what and why we use pollen grains in our flowers. So what is pollination? So it is the process of transfer of pollen grains. Now what is pollination? Pollination is the process of the transfers of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. From the anther to the stigma of the pistil. Means from the anther of stamens to the stigma of pistil, right? From stem, it transfers pollen grains from the stamen to the pistil, from the male part to the female part. Now this pollination also has two parts. First is self-pollination and the second one is cross-pollination. Now what is the meaning of self-pollination? Self-pollination, it is the process of pollination which is done between one flower only. And cross-pollination is when suppose by a wind from one flower to another flowers, from one flower's male to another flower's female, the pollen grains are going, then that is known as the cross pollination. Now how and what are the agents of pollination? So agents of pollination are insects, wind and water. Insect, wind and water. Our next topic is fertilization. So what is fertilization? In brief, it is the process of the fusion of male and female gametes. So the process in which male and female gamete fuse are known as fertilization. So this is only a simple and easy definition which you can write in your exams. Now there was a problem in the video. So now when there is a fused cell, okay, when there is a fusion between male and female gamete, then it produces a cell known as zygote. So what is this fertilized cell? This fertilized cell is only known as the zygote, and zygote is the first cell formed after the fertilization. Now this zygote only divides into and it develops into a form of embryo. Now this we have got that the zygote divides into an embryo, and that embryo forms, and it also becomes differentiated and develops into shoot and roots. Okay, it develops into shoot and roots. And what is the role of ovary and ovule? The ovary develops into a fruit and the ovule develops into the seeds. Fruit and seeds. Seeds are used for reproducing, means we can reproduce that plant by putting the seed into the soil and taking care of it. So that's all in this video. Thanks for watching. In this video, if I tell you briefly, then we have discussed about artificial method of vegetative propagation. Then we have discussed about sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, we have discussed about parts of flower, types of flower, pollination, agents of pollination, fertilization, and what is a zygote. So in this video, this much only. In the next video, I'll be sending you some notes, or you can say the full summary of the chapter. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubt, please write in the comment box and I'll be explaining you in the next video. And yeah, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you all. And do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye. Meet you in the next video.